Nairobi.
The Senator for Tana River County is our guest this hour, and we're looking at a number of things as we continue with this conversation. Grassroots,
Yes.
of course, which is where development spurs.
Yes.
And it essentially spawns there, and then you can see it on a national level because it happened at the grassroots.
Yes.
And one would hope that with all the talk that we see happening at the grassroots, that is going to then find its way through, and the projects that are being launched. I mean, we all know, we can see, whether you want to talk about people who've gone around and some of these very same projects that you talk about being launched.
Yes.
We can see those who've gone around and are doing the due diligence and saying, look, this was launched 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago,
Yes.
last year, and we don't see any movement. We know Auditor General, every time she releases a report, there are reports of development projects that should have started, for which money was spent, but we don't see the project and we don't see the money. It is too often a tale of things that are going on in Kenya for a nation that should be punching well above its weight on the development agenda. It is not happening. And this is not a political question. It is a fact question. Why do we not see as much effort and as much money is being put into these things to raise the profile of some parts of the country? Why don't we see the end goal? One. And then why don't we hear loudly from folks such as yourself who should be asking the questions about why money is being spent on things we do not see with as much fervor as these grassroots political activities are taking place? Why? Why?
It's a tough question because I hold the view that more can be done by all of us from our different positions. And it is especially sad that every year when the Attorney General, not the Attorney General, the Auditor General gives the report, we don't see any form of charges being presented in court. We don't see asset recovery. We don't see people paying the price. So then the argument is that whatever the Auditor General has presented needs to be processed through Parliament, that is the National Assembly, and we also play a certain role, although ours is focused on the counties. Now, still, you see, let me just talk about our role as Senate in the oversight.
Yes.
We don't do primary oversight. We do secondary oversight. In this sense, the county assembly is supposed to carry out primary oversight so that projects that are happening, they're supposed to call the cabinet, not the cabinet secretary, but the CECs, the ministers at that level, to ask them questions about the water project, the hospitals. They're supposed to put the accountability on those guys there first. We, as a senator, I'm supposed to push the governor. And this is how it happens. First, we are the ones who fight for the money to be allocated to go down to the counties.
Yes.
So once the equitable share has left Nairobi to the county government, it is the governor. The law says it's the governor who organizes how that money is supposed to be spent. But even he doesn't have power to spend the money. He has to take it to the county assembly via the budget process.
Yes.
And they are the ones who then, they of course have to improve it. That's why there's always push and pull. Then it comes back and it gives the governor the check to the power to write the checks. Then it comes to us now through, at the secondary level, through the Auditor General's report to us. And that's when we summon governors from various counties through the Senate Public Accounts Committee and also in other committees to put them into account. Why is this happening? Why is this not happening? And so on. We do that that's what we do in committees. But again, the Senate does not have powers of arrest. The Senate does not have powers to put anybody, to tell him, refund this money. We think that you have stolen. The Senate doesn't have those powers. So there are agencies which are supposed to carry out those functions. So what we do, we recommend, we say, Governor, in this year, this person ought to be investigated, arrested, and charged. Or this person needs to refund this money, or there was no information on this, so there was misuse of public office. And remember, at the Senate Public Accounts Committee, we sit there with ESCC represented. And they have first-hand information on that report. But again, even after strong recommendation, you will find that nothing really moves. Because again, the ESCC will tell you, we have finished investigations, we have passed the file to the office of the DPP. So the ODPP is supposed to be the one that clears for people to be charged.
Is Senate allowed to remind the ODPP that certain things are supposed to happen? Because the role, like you say, whether it's secondary oversight, it sounds to me as though it's a rolling oversight.
Correct.
That you don't do oversight on Tuesday and Thursday.
Yes.
That oversight takes place so long as there is a Senate.
Yes.
So you knowing full well that this case is there, or that there's a question here about 150 billion shillings that was supposed to be used for development, for example, it doesn't happen. I'm going to go back to the Galana Kulalu project. This is not the first time, for example, that we've heard about Galana. We had a sitting ambassador from Israel who left the project, left the country, and said that never in his lifetime had he seen something like that. And he did not want to be operating in that space again. We didn't talk about the money lost for Galana. We didn't ask about where did it go. Nobody said, okay, we need to deal with this. A sitting ambassador, something that has never happened before, left the country. Kenya, on its own recognizance, did not ask questions about what happened here, but what are we seeing? A revival of the same irrigation project. Nobody's asked questions. Nobody says, where did that money put in go? Nobody asked what were the products of that. But now it's being revived and it's being done all over again. Such cases that should be brought and questions asked. My question then is, Senate is a rolling, the senatorial oversight position is a rolling process. So it sounds as though when that file, if you're aware of it, goes to ODPP takes it to court, and it sits there, it gathers dust. Nobody asks the questions about how far is this case, how does it go? We just say, well, we've done our part and we've left it there.
I think the question you're asking, who oversights the oversighter?
Yes.
Now, this is where difficulties come in within our constitutional arrangement. The office of the deputy of the office of the ODPP is an independent office that works without direction from anybody. So all you do is maybe to ask, what have you done about it? But again, look at it. We deal with this in cycles. You have accounts for, say, the financial year 2021, 2022, then 2022, 2023, 2023, 2024, and so on. Or even financial year audit reports coming from different financial years that are very dated. So when you come and you have presented this, it has left your desk as a committee of the Senate. We have dealt with this matter. We have made our recommendation. It has gone to the ESCC. Now, ESCC also say we have done our bit. We have taken to the ODPP. So who traces this movement of the file to ask, why is this matter not in court? Or even sometimes the ODPP has sent it to court. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecution has sent the matter to court, and then it is in court for 10 years. Who is it that comes to make a question? What is happening to this other? I think that question is a question that we have been grappling with, and I think there's a systemic failure there, because the justice you are looking for is being delayed, and therefore, from a public perspective, it's being denied. Let me say this, that tackling corruption needs political will, a very strong political will. And unless there is a very strong push, for example, like when I remember the first time we got elected and Mwai Kibaki was in office, I remember people getting out of a bus, following a police officer, a traffic police officer, and telling him, you're not going to take a bribe. And there was literally fear of trying to do the wrong things at that time. And the euphoria was so strong that we are going to fix this country. We are going to do things proper. But then it goes, after some time, the steams run off because the system is not perfect. Like, you even if you arrested that person, like he's taking a bribe, it is not up to you to charge him. It's not up to you to sentence him. It's not up to you even to handle that case. So even if we have a citizen's arrest, the kind of constitution we have chosen, the democracy and the freedoms, we have to accept that systems are not perfect and it takes time. But yes, I will play my role as a senator. I will make my recommendation, and the other agencies of justice must play their role. That is how our constitutional setup is. Unless now we're talking about overhauling the whole thing so that we say, senators, once you find that there's a misuse of money by the governor, you can order the arrest. Now, immediately you have a problem with the Constitution. The Constitution will say the man has to be given, right to be heard, has to have representation, you have to draft proper charges, you have to go through investigations. So now, if the Constitution is saying that even that person has rights, then I think we have to, Kenyans have to accept that we will play our role as senators, but agencies must play their role, and the courts must also play their role. Even the lawyers, the prosecutors must play their role, because sometimes if proper evidence is not presented, again, they will defeat the system, they will be acquitted.
If you were to answer honestly, Senator,
yes,
do you think the system, as it's currently constituted and as it's currently operating, is it working? If you were to answer honestly, I repeat.
Yes, I'm answering. I'm trying to answer you that it is very similar to that development project question that you're asking. That the president is coming. This road was supposed to be fixed for a long time, blah, blah, blah. The contracts haven't been signed, but because he's coming next month, because he's coming next 2 months, the contracts are signed. There's a political force. So the system is there. It's supposed to work on its own, but there's got to be some force from somewhere. And that is why I'm saying the system as it is now is very similar to it's very parallel to what you are saying. That cases are there. Like if today we go to the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, he will tell you there are many cases which are ready to go, but you know. If you go to EACC also, there are many cases, but you know. So if there is political will, and I am repeating, if there is political will to push. Because, a road is like a development project. Now, cases of corruptions are also like a development project. If there is push, very high push, then we will see some changes. So the system itself is not bad. It's not broken, but it needs a push. This is what I'm saying. And, this is why choosing leaders has its own consequences. If you chose a leader who has come on the basis that is going to fight corruption, and he gets successful, because again that is a very strong fight. But assume that we elect a president, or assume we elect a governor at the county level who is saying, I'm going to get rid of these cartels, I'm going to do this, and I don't care, even if you make me a one-term, then I'm telling you, things will change. Things will change. But unfortunately, to make these things, move faster, to make these things move faster, the system is there. But to push the system to production, it will take time. So from where I sit, and we have said this very many times as senators, let us have one governor arrested this Friday, okay? And the charges are displayed. This money was missing, there was abuse of office. Pap, he's charged. We are not saying he's convicted, but he's charged, he's taken to court. Then we wait. Next week on Friday, let us have another one arrested. Okay? Then we wait. The next week, let us have another one arrested. Let me tell you, people will go back and ask themselves, do I want to be the next?
Do you think it will serve as a deterrent?
Yes, I'm telling you, things will start to change.
Okay, I want to bring to your attention, and of course you have seen it, because even as our minutes wind down, some of the other things that happen away from the glare of daylight.
Yes.
The airport, a restricted security area for the national government, is now being operated, designed, constructed, managed, authorized for the next 30 years by an external group.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about that?
I know that matter is pending before the Senate.
It is coming to you.
Yes. And the relevant committee, the transport committee, is going to deal with it. But my own thoughts, there is, let me say, a very delicate balance between efficiency and national security. Yeah. Now, I want, and let me just go use the example of Tana River. I want to put Galana Kulalu, for example, is 1.75 million acres. I want to make Tana River completely productive, the food basket of this country. Maybe as a president.
You want to do that, or you're just giving examples?
I'm giving an example.
Okay.
I would do that if I was a president.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I'm giving this as an example that I want, as a government, we want to make food security a priority, for example. And we have identified Tana River County, it has land, small population, so we are going to make it work. But then you go back to your budget and you look, agriculture, this money is all gone. We don't have money for the development vote is very minimal. So then what do you do as a president? You go look for partners who will enter into public-private partnerships. And that is the thing. Now, if you bring somebody like maybe somebody from China, somebody from the US, somebody from wherever, to come and farm that land at a profit, are we doing the correct thing? Are we exposing the country to national security issues? That place is so vast. What if they are landing planes and doing their own thing, and we have already given them the lease? Now, transfer that example to the airport.
Okay. I was going to ask you to land that plane, but okay.
I've already landed it now. Transfer that example to the airport.
Yeah.
The airport needs massive infrastructure investment. I was in Rwanda the other day, and Kagame is not joking. There is a huge airport that is being constructed. It's going to rival the one we have in Nairobi. And Nairobi, we know, is a hub of transfers and whatever in East and Central Africa. But then Kagame is doing a very big one with the support of
the
partners.
Qataris. Yeah.
Yes. Now, I'm looking at Kenya. We want to move forward. We want to make our airport very competitive, so that, and very, very profitable. Now, how do we do it? Because we don't have the budget for it.
100 billion shillings Kenya does not have?
We don't have the budget for it. That's a reality. So, we can do this. We can hold on and wait, slowly raise money through taxes over time, and make little improvements. Or because our neighbors are also competing with us, we can ask for partnership like the way we have done in Galana Kulalu and other projects. Now, when you are calling somebody to take, let's say, one bath to run at the port in Mombasa, KPA maybe is entering into a partnership such as that one, and they're saying this bath is going to be run by a private operator. Now, that private operator, when he comes there, he will come with conditions, and normally those conditions are not, that bath will not be operated like a government bath.
Okay.
So there is always that balance. Sometimes it's national security, like port.
Yeah.
Do we allow a private operator to operate a bath in the port? What if they are bringing things, illegal things? Same thing. These questions are going to be asked about this Adani deal.
Yes.
So for me, what do I say? I say we need to balance, and the balance shall be that there must be a lot of public participation. There must be transparency in this deal. Don't go and do things in the dark.
Okay.
Let the workers know what is happening. Let the management know what is happening. If they support it, go along with them. If they don't support it, then put it aside. Let us accept that we are going to be developed maybe 30 years later or 40 years later.
Okay.
Rwanda is going to catch up with us. We are going to be left behind or pass us,
All right.
So that's my general thinking. That let's not be too suspicious, but let the government also be completely transparent.
Senator of Tana River County, Danson Mugatana, has been our guest this hour. Thank you for being here.
Definitely,
these conversations must continue. Asante Sana, it is 2 minutes after 8 o'clock.